There are not words to describe, and it would be good if you didn't try so hard to find so many to describe what true resonance with Source is. And when you're focused upon something that you don't like, well, then that resonance is clouded, and resistance is what you feel. And that's what negative emotion is every single time. If we can say something today that will help you to lighten up on yourself just a little bit, if you can find more unconditional love about yourself, it would be so good for you. Because when you focus in your experience and you find reasons or conditions to not appreciate yourself or anyone, someone else for any reason, you hold yourself in a discordant vibration. And the result is you don't feel good in the moment. But another result is, in that moment of negative emotion, you are actually practicing a thought and therefore encouraging a momentum of that thought, and therefore turning that thought that started out soft and simple and unimportant, not very much of a determination in what comes to you in terms of your point of attraction, turning that thought into something that has enough momentum that it's a full-blown belief that then becomes a central part of your point of attraction. And that's the thing that is so ironic, because you are offering this thought which becomes a belief, and then it becomes a reality for you, and then you believe it. That's the best way for you to really cement a belief in. Offer a vibration that you didn't need to offer until you cause a reality that you didn't want to cause. And now you've got an experience that you have to face its reality after Alan. Then you say, of course I believe it. I lived it. Life taught it to me. And what we want you to understand is that you are teaching life how to be to you. Life isn't being that way to you willy-nilly. You are not here just to have life descend upon you and then observe it and accept it. You are the creator of your own reality. But we love you so much you don't act like you know it. You are so often just observing things and taking your observation as if it is something that, because it is, then it is your responsibility just to observe it and then to comment on it, and then to blog about it, and let's gather some statistics about it, and please, 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 let's erect monuments about it too, so that no others ever do not accept the belief that we have created about the things that we do not want. Let's pass these beliefs on from generation to generation, because after all, we don't want these little buggers that are coming in to really believe that the world revolves around them. We don't want them to think that life is supposed to be good for them and they're supposed to live happily ever after. We need to teach them. Humans want to pass on what you know. We want you to pass on what you feel. We want you to find the vibrational core of who you are to make sure that you're in resonance with Source before you pass it on. But that's not the easiest thing, is it? Because you've got some thoughts going that have gathered some momentum, and the momentum is causing them to manifest. And manifestations are something that not only you are noticing, but those around you are noticing too. And so it's not easy to get your eyes off the reality that already is, even though we so much want you to get your attention upon the reality that is becoming. But the is reality is so compelling, isn't it? There's so much texture to it, so much detail to it, so much momentum to it. And so we understand why it's compelling to you. But the what is not as rich as you make it out to be. You can get in the mode of being in awareness of what you are doing vibrationally, without holding yourself so succinctly to the details of what is in terms of manifestation. And that's the thing that we wish with everything that we are ready to convey to you in a way that you can really hear us. Yes, there is a what is. There are conditions that surround you that have manifested into what is. There certainly is a reality that you could get together and agree in large part upon the components of what is. But what you mostly don't remember, and what we know so vividly, and what you mostly would do well to remember, and what we wish to convey to you in a way that you will then remember it and get it active in your vibration is, yes, there is a what is that is manifested, but there also is a what is that is vibrational. And that vibrational what is, you can recognize it here and now by the way you feel. Because you can feel the what isness of your relationship between your desires and your beliefs. That's what is too. In other words, when you want something and you doubt it, that doubt is what is right now. It's the what is too. When you want something but you have fear around it, that fear is an indication of a vibrational reality, a vibrational what is right now. Now, what we're going to say next, if you can hear this, then your life will begin to transform in manifested visual, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it ways immediately. But here is the piece that you've got to get in place first. You have to accept that this is a vibrational world. Do you? And that you are a vibrational player in this world, and that you are an extension of a vibration that is active and vivid within you. And that when you are in any moment resonant with that vibration, you feel the resonance of it in the form of powerful, positive emotion. And when you get sideways of it, when your thoughts, when your beliefs have introduced resistance into this equation of your focus right now, you feel the discord. You accept all of that. So here is the piece that we so want you to understand. As you stand here in your vibrational beingness, it is that vibrational beingness that equals your point of attraction. Your point of attraction, that point where you begin the process of turning thoughts into things, of turning something that is a vibration into something that you can realize with all of your physicality. We're talking about creation here, but we want you to understand that unless you get your eye, your sensor, your attention, your focus upon this emotional center that is yours, then you're likely to continue to perpetuate unwanted momentum. You say, there are so many things I want that more money would provide for me. And then even as you're saying it, you're feeling negative emotion because you're thinking, but I don't have that money that I want or need. So you've got both of those vibrations going on. So we say, well, let us help you clean up your vibration. So we talk to you about how you can get some money, and in your mind, you argue with us, well, I've been trying and I'm not getting any. And then we convey to you that there are many people who have been where you are standing. And then you argue with us in your mind again. Yeah, but you don't know what their circumstances were. Somebody inherited something. I really don't like that guy. And someone else won the lottery. He's just a freak of nature. And then you begin remembering that you didn't inherit anything. And you wonder why your parents didn't plan better so that you could have inherited something. And then you think about your spouse who spends like a wild Benny. And there's no point in ever trying to save anything, because as fast as it shows up, it's gone anyway. And so we're trying to have a conversation with you about how you can have more money, but you're off to the races on how you feel about money. It's not because you're a bad creator. It's not because you're a negative thinker. It's because you've got momentum of those thoughts. Those beliefs have a lot of momentum going, and you just can't stop a train that's going 100 miles per hour that way and make it go 100 miles per hour the other way all of a sudden. You wouldn't want to. It's hard on the contents of the train. You don't want it to be like that. So what we want you to understand is that, yes, out there in the details of the life that you're living, it is close to impossible to, in any short order of time, change the vibration, change the thought, change the feeling, change the emotion. It's just not likely. But you could do what you've been talking about doing for a long time as humans. You could discover an unconditional alignment. You could find at the heart of that the vibrational core of it. And here's what we mean. You understand the concept of momentum. So when we notice, or you notice that you've got a belief going that doesn't serve you, and we say to you, it's simply a momentum of thought that isn't serving you. Part of you wants to argue about it because you believe it, because it has been happening. It's a reality that you've observed, and so therefore it seems like it should be believable. But we want you to understand, even if you decide that it is a belief you don't want to keep active, you can't just stop believing that all of a sudden, because there's too much momentum about those thoughts. Life is still delivering to you remnants and pieces of it. Not with the purpose of keeping it alive. It's just the consequence. In the same way that there's no villain force trying to drag your car down the hill into a big crash at the end, it's just a natural consequence of momentum. So when you realize, or this is what we want you to realize, that there is a point, an earlier point, where the momentum is easier to stop or easier to slow. There is a point in every conversation, on every subject, where it's easy for you to begin the momentum in the direction of what you want. And that's that emotional place. That's that emotional center. That's that unconditional place. Hear these words and try to feel the resonance with them just a little bit. So, all right, you got that, didn't you? Everything about that makes perfect sense. There's nothing within you that argues with any of that. It makes perfect sense. So now let's introduce law of attraction to the equation, because law of attraction, which says that which is likened to itself is drawn, is of course the reason for momentum. Because when you think a thought for as little as 17 seconds, law of attraction delivers another thought to you that is like it. And now there's more momentum with the joining of the two thoughts. And in another 17 seconds, more momentum and another more momentum cross the 68-second mark, and you've got momentum going. That's the point where you should have kind of wanted to get out in front of it before it bumped against you. Because now, when you get out in front of it, it might knock you down just a little bit momentum. So let's say that you are like a normal human, and you're thinking about your day. You're thinking about your life. You're thinking about your world. You're thinking about the personal things and the not so personal things. You're thinking a lot of thoughts. You're engaged with life, and some of the thoughts you think serve you really well. Some of the thoughts you think don't serve you so well. But you're just thinking thoughts, because there are thoughts to be thought, right? So here is this thought about something that you want. And you're thinking about this thought of something that you want. And it starts in a gentle place. Let's say you started early enough in the day that it was easy to get it going in that direction. So you're thinking about what you want on this subject. It might be a lover. It might be financial remuneration. It might be a purchase, business, real estate. It could be any number of things. So you're focused upon this desire, and so far so good. You're thinking about it, and it feels good to you to think about it. Feels fresh, feels exciting. The idea of it really feels good to you. So you're thinking that thought, and then because you've got a belief that contradicts it, that's in the vibrational vicinity of that subject, you think, but I cannot really afford that. So now you've got this thought of what you want and this contradictory thought about it. And you're not ever thinking two thoughts at the same time, but you're thinking them in close enough proximity to each other. I want it, but I want it, but that you've got a little vibrational wobble going here. You want it, but so there's a little wobble going here. If you will step back right now and soothe that wobble, law of attraction is going to help you take that thought of desire to another place. But if you don't, the wobble is going to keep you from moving purely forward with that thought. So it goes like this. Let's say you don't catch it because it didn't feel very big. It wasn't gut-wrenching. You didn't even really notice it. You're not that in touch with your emotions. You're not that pure about your non-wobble thought yet. And so you think about how you want it, and then you think about how you've wanted it for a while, and then you think about how you hardly know anybody that's got that. And so now your thoughts are continuing. Law of attraction is causing each part of this thought to be greater. Are you getting the sense of this? But the wobble's getting greater too. So now, pretty soon, you want it, and now you're talking to your friend about it. Oh man, I've wanted this thing that I can't have for so long. Yeah, me too, your friend says. I can't even remember the last time I had anything like that. You know, I know somebody that's got it, but you don't even want to know that guy. That guy is so egotistically centered. That guy is so hard to talk to. Doesn't want to talk about things that negate what he wants. So you've got this big time wobble going on now. With us so far? You're the creator of your own reality. You're vibrational beings. You live in a vibrational universe. Everything you think is vibrational. Law of attraction is managing the vibration. And when you think about what you want in its absence, you wobble. And wobble doesn't feel good. And the more specific you are in a wobbling posture, the more uncomfortable you will become. The more specific you are in a non-wobbling posture, the more exhilaration you will feel. So your negative emotion is just letting you know all day, every day, what you're doing wobble-wise and what you could clean up if you would try a little bit. But if you'd be smart about it, you'd want to stop the wobble before it gets going too much. So the rule of thumb is, get as far into the good feeling thought as you can without wobbling. And in the moment you start to wobble, back up from it just a little bit.